The Callisto Protocol is an upcoming third-person survival horror video game that is being developed by Striking Distance Studios and published by Krafton. The game is set in the same universe as PUBG and is created by many of the same team members who created Dead Space. The project has gathered a lot of good publicity so far, and with the project releasing sometime in 2022, now is a good time to cover the reveal, the connection to PUBG, and more. As always, all the sources will be linked in the description below, so make sure to check those out and support those original writers. And with that out of the way, let's get into everything we know about the Callisto Protocol. The first news about the Callisto Protocol came indirectly in June of 2019. PUBG announced they were creating a new independent development studio that would be ran by Glenn Schofield. The studio would be called Striking Distance. In the announcement video, he described the project as a narrative game set in the PUBG universe.
Hi, I'm Glenn Schofield. I'm happy to announce that I've just joined PUBG Corporation as CEO of a new independent game studio called Striking Distance. We're working together to build the studio from the ground up so we can begin crafting an original narrative experience in the PUBG universe. I've had a lot of opportunities to make some remarkable games throughout my career. At Visceral Games, we created the third-person survival horror shooter Dead Space. But now I'm looking to take those experiences to explore new designs and concepts at the Striking Distance headquarters in San Ramon, California. As a creative, the freedom to explore the PUBG universe has me excited about the possibilities, which we view as beyond Battle Royale. And I'm excited for the next step, which is finding the right people to join us on this journey. I'm looking forward to telling you more when I can, but until then, thank you for sharing this special moment with me.
Even back in 2019, Glenn said the project wouldn't be limited to another Battle Royale, and he ended by saying he was excited to start making hires for the studio for this AAA game. Glenn himself has a long career and has been working in the industry for over 30 years, but one of his most beloved projects was Dead Space. And the community around PUBG was curious to see how this new team would build out this world and what kind of game they were creating. The answer came over a year and a half later. The game Striking Distance was working on was revealed in December of 2020 at the Game Awards. A cinematic trailer was released. The team described the game as a story-driven, single-player survival horror game from the creators of Dead Space. And the Dead Space influence can be seen immediately with the neck indicator on the main character we follow in the trailer. I will also say a week after the official trailer was shown off, a red band version of the trailer was uploaded as well, which includes an extended scene. And the game was given a 2022 release window for PC and consoles. The day after the reveal, Glenn did an interview with IGN and shared more details about the project. He starts by saying this game will be genuinely scary, and the hope is that this will be the scariest game on next generation platforms and PC. He also talked about how the studio was created and how the connection to PUBG started. He said that he came up with the story for the Callisto Protocol first and met with the PUBG people to pitch his idea for the game and building a new studio. The higher-ups at PUBG liked the idea, but wanted the game to connect to the established PUBG universe, which is why the game events are set 300 years after the events of PUBG, and that was added in after the pitch and was added onto this idea. Announced at this same time as well were members of the original Dead Space team who would be returning to work on this project, which includes the Dead Space executive producer, designer, animation director, and more. The total amount that were announced as members who worked on the original Dead Space are between 25 and 30 members who are now working for Striking Distance. And the last question I want to cover from the reveal event is when Glenn was asked how similar the Callisto Protocol would be compared to Dead Space. He said, quote, "You know, I have a particular style, and I can't get away from my style. My style has grown and maybe matured a little bit, but it is my style. I'm sure there'll be some familiar vibes within the game. It's hard for me to step back and go, oh, I've got to make this different than that idea on Dead Space, and make this different and this different. I'm just going to make a game with 10 more years of experience. What have I learned? What am I doing different? You know, it has to just be natural. And it sounds like this game will be a natural progression for the series, but not too close where they would be facing a lawsuit from EA. And that for the most part covers all of the aspects of the reveal event. Next, I want to touch on the story that will play out through the game. The game takes place on the second largest moon of Jupiter, which is called Callisto. We play as an inmate in the Black Iron space prison. As we progress through the story, we'll unravel a mystery about the prison and the people behind it, who are the United Jupiter Company, all while we take our character to escape. Glenn said he wanted to use Callisto because it's possible the moon is colonized one day. Also, the moon has a subsurface ocean of water, which will definitely play into the story, along with the moon being one of the oldest and heavily cratered surfaces made of iron, rock, and ice in the solar system. All of which we assume will play into the story because the team wants to utilize the moon's actual properties when creating this game. So we can only imagine what type of creatures and aliens they will include in a body of water under one of the oldest moons in the solar system, and what could be down there and what we'll find and what the prison is hiding. And I think this realism tends to be noticed by people playing these types of games, and it really shows the attention to detail the team is taking with this project. They've been adamant that the game's visuals will blow people away and will take full advantage of the new console hardware. So hopefully this game ends up living up to the expectations fans have for it. I want to close out and talk about the one piece of concept art that was released in May of 2021 by the official Callisto Protocol Twitter account. It's an image of a prisoner inside their cell that seems to be overgrown, and the art style already seems to be creating this very dark world, and it looks really good. I also wanted to end on some good news around the project. VG247 interviewed the Chief Development Officer at Striking Distance and former Visceral Games General Manager, and when asked about the difference in publishers with Krafton for the Callisto Protocol versus EA with Dead Space, he said they are both very different and that Krafton has shown a real affinity to support the creative process. So whether or not this game is good, at least it will be the full vision of the creatives, and they are allowed to create this game with the full support and freedom of their publishing, which makes the game that much more exciting to me, and I can't wait to play it sometime in 2022. That's where I'm going to end this video, and that is everything we know about the Callisto Protocol. Make sure to like and share this video, subscribe for weekly gaming news, and I will see you guys in the next one.